to the nation live on air.
Well, before all of that, it's 27 days since the horrific killing of drummer Lee Rigby on the streets of Woolwich.
An 85,000-strong petition was handed in to Downing Street today, calling for 3 women who have become known as the Woolwich Angels to be given the George Award for bravery.
Well, many people witnessed the events of that day, but only a very small number decided to stop and help. So what is it that makes some of us want to get involved and others walk away?
A man thought to be a soldier has been murdered close to a barracks in southeast London in what's being treated as a terrorist attack.
My brain was just really guiding me. I was not thinking. I was just doing what I thought was the right thing to keep the situation the way it was.
Bravery is the management of fear. We all feel fear. It's a matter of whether we manage it or not. We feel the fear, but we do it anyway.
I can understand why people don't get involved when they see something terrible happening, because I think actually until you're in that situation and you experience that sense of being frozen in terror, you've got no way of knowing how you respond.
So I'm on a bus and the bus stops, look, and I see what seems to be a road traffic accident. So I left the bus to attend the victim, and the situation changed at the moment I saw weapons in the hands of what I assumed to be a nervous driver. So I chose to speak with him for him to focus his attention on me. I don't feel that brave. My grandfather fought 4 years in the Second World War as a flight lieutenant in the RAF. And he was shot at every day. So that's bravery.
When we find ourselves faced by something stressful, quite a number of things in our body happen. There's the thing we all know about adrenaline being released. What happens with that is it increases the heart rate, pumps the blood around quicker. We're ready for that fight or flight. Our muscles start to tense. The palms of our hands become wet, and also there's something happening psychologically as well. Everything to do with the situation we see ourselves is amplified, so we see things more brightly to do with the danger or to do with the crisis we're facing, and everything else is shut down a bit. People talk about time slowing down or standing still, and really what's happening is actually our senses are speeding up because we've closed down all the stuff we don't need.
There was a guy just lying on the floor. We didn't see what had happened to him originally, but as we sort of noticed him, the 2 guys standing over him took it in turns to basically boot him in the head, kicking him quite hard in the head. I remember feeling completely rooted to the spot. I just froze. You know, I wasn't thinking rationally. I wasn't thinking I must do something. I also wasn't thinking I'm not safe here, I must get out of here. I just literally froze and kind of became a bystander, just watching things unfold in front of me. I just remember feeling numb. It's not a nice thought to realise that actually somebody could have sustained life-threatening injuries, and given the opportunity to at least try to intervene or to help that person, I don't like the fact that I didn't take that opportunity.
There's a thing called the bystander effect, which has been studied by social psychologists for some time. We tend to actually look for other people's responses to a situation. And there are studies done where, for example, people lying in the street and no one actually goes to check to see if the person's okay. The reason for that is that you may not have noticed the person there, or you may be looking around and go, well, no one else seems to be thinking that there's a problem here, so I don't know what it is, but I'm not standing out from the crowd, because there's quite a strong pressure on us not to stand out from the crowd.
I do definitely regret not having at least made an effort to go to the assistance of the guy that was being beaten up.
It is always to do with our belief about what we can do, our belief what's right to do and what isn't right to do, and whether or not it is appropriate to take that sort of risk by putting ourselves forward in that situation.
And I'm definitely glad to have done what I did, definitely, and I will do it again.
Such amazing bravery shown by Ingrid there, Nick. And you were saying during the film that, you know, you've done some research into when and why people intervene in these situations. You were nodding when the guy in the film was talking about the bystander effect.
Yeah, we've got the Jill Dando Institute at the University College London, and they've done some fantastic experiments in virtual environments where you take people, you put them in, it's just a black room, but it's so realistic, and a fight is beginning to develop. And you find people's heart rate goes up. You know, they're just the bystander. What are they going to do? The interesting thing is, people who don't think they would intervene do try to pacify.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You never know how you're going to react until you're faced with that situation,
right.
as we heard in that film. But a very interesting subject for you, because you studied psychology, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. And of course, if we don't, who will? I mean, there's, do you know, there's one police, you're more likely to meet a doctor than a police officer. There's one officer on duty about every 10 square kilometres in Britain. So if we don't intervene, if we don't help...
Well, there should have been...